65? Yeah, we're gonna...
All the men who show up at Montreal, they all probably...
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of WSAL. On today's show, Cameron Spink spends 100 yards with his football captain brother Casey. Paul Agnudo also introduces us to a group of kids you've never noticed at a football game. And we will take a look at the tradition here at Salesianum that only a few know about. But first, over the summer, one of Salesianum's most beloved faculty members, Senor Kramer, announced his retirement from teaching. Senor has been a mainstay in the foreign languages department and intramural basketball since the 1970s. He leaves behind a legacy of graduating over 1,000 Salesian gentlemen and now is a place forever in the halls, with Kramer Chapel being dedicated earlier this year. Our cameras went out and talked to some of Senor's former students about who is arguably one of the greatest educators of all time.
It was really fun and really structured. Like, he knew what he was talking about, and he always had a list of questions. He always had nicknames for people, and it was always really nice, and definitely knew what he was talking about.
It was fun. He'd always have funny stories to talk about, and class was always a good time, and never had a bad day. Well, he always had stories to tell to connect things you're learning to things in real life, and he was just a good guy.
This class was really fun. It was very structured, had a lot of TQs, had a lot of, he asked everyone questions. He was a great person. Always nice to people, made sure everybody was learning. He'd go out of his way to teach people after school. He did that for me a couple of times. Do card presentations, anything. He's a good person, and it's a shame that he can't teach the freshmen this year. He would have stories, and he would make sure he'd rhyme things, and he'd take things that we already know and he'd compare them, and he'd make it kind of fun and an easy way to remember some harder things to remember.
He was a great guy, and funny guy, and I hope he gets better for sure.
Mr. Kramer will be missed for sure. Switching to the theater, every year students try out for roles in performances or find a place on the stage crew. Salesianum's theater has many traditions like prayer before performances and dinners afterwards. However, there is one tradition that has left a mark not on the stage, but in the ceiling. Tyler Gallo has the story.
Salesianum has many secrets not known to many students. These secrets are anything from a fallout shelter under the auditorium to the chapel in the religion hallway. Each activity group has its own secrets or marks they have left on the school, but today we will be going into the stage crew's little memento that they have left.
Well, it started long before I took over doing the theater. I started working on the shows back in 1983. And they were even back there when I started. Not as many, but they've been students have been adding to it over the course of the decades that I've been up there. Yeah. They've been up there since the 60s. It's pretty much a ritual or a practice of crew members when they're working spotlights, the follow spots, or they're up there aiming lights or something, that they would just put a can of soda on the I-beams up in the catwalks. And when I started, it was just a few feet beyond where the opening of the opening is, where we hang the lights, but now it stretches all the way back to all the way over the auditorium completely.
I first noticed the cans back in 2001 when I was a senior, and I had gotten playing an instrument again, and I was in the pit orchestra. And one day before rehearsal, I was just exploring the theater, and somebody told me I should go up to the catwalks. And so I went up there and I saw the cans, and I was like, oh wow, this is pretty interesting. They say that only stage crew people are allowed to put cans up there, but if you're clever enough and crafty enough, you can find your way up there, and you can get your own can up there, even if you were just in the pit orchestra. I got a cherry Coke can. It's somewhere on the right side of the stage, so it's a black and white one from the late 90s when they had like the crazy line designs on it. Well, I mean, everybody's always looking to leave their mark on Salesianum, so this was before I even thought about becoming a teacher here. I was like, okay, well, since there are all these cans up here, I'll be able to say, like, yeah, I got something at Salesianum, you know, that's going to be there for a long time, since it seems like those cans just go back forever. And from what I've seen and heard from the students is that they're still going, that they're starting to wrap around the entire auditorium now that there's so many of them up there.
Every year when the plays are held, some students work the lighting up in the Cove. In the Cove, the stage crew works the lights for the plays, but there's something else up there which students who aren't in the stage crew would never know. All of the cans. There are cans that litter the catwalk. Each can has a story, kid, and a play behind it. These cans have been up here almost since the beginning of this building. Some of these sodas you can't even find anymore as they've been discontinued.
It's amazing the school tolerates that kind of littering outside the cafeteria. We're going to take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
Have you ever tried to take a load off and just start falling repeatedly? Are your legs ever depleted of their energy? Do you ever need to stand on something to get your friend's attention? Well, have we got the solution for you? Now introducing the Chair, the best thing since the char. It's unique and one of a kind.
Are you filming right now?
Yeah.
The Chair is constructed of many different polyfibers to make a strong but comfortable sensation for your sitting endeavors. You will never feel anything like it. In addition, it has many other uses, like weight training, source of shade on a hot and dry day, make enemy bay, and many more.
I love the Shire. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I have gluteus maximus problems. And other chairs just make it uncomfortable. But now, thanks to the Shire, all my problems are absolved.
I love the Shire. I love it. My family loves it. My mom, my dad, and my dog. He's so cute. He's got his own little doze chair. And Shire makes me happy. Shire makes me glad. I'm not an actor. I'm not being forced to say this. I love the Shire.
I don't get what the big deal is. It's literally just a chair. You literally just sit on it.
Shire!
Alright, you gotta stop. It's literally just a chair.
It's not just a chair! Not just a chair! It's not just a chair! Make enemy pay. No!
You can get your beautiful Chair in many different colors, such as dark baby blue, navy, blue, dark blue, blue but dark, azul, ocean blue, bay blue, lake blue, midnight blue, police blue, and for our colorblind friends, green, such as dark green, and a slightly darker green, forest green, green but dark, sea green. For the low price of half a hot dog covered in relish, you can get not one, but 2 Chairs. And if you call in the next 15 seconds, you'll get a heated Chair for free. Call 1-800-DEFINITELY-NOT-A-CHAIR today. That's 1-800-DEFINITELY-NOT-A-CHAIR. I repeat, that's 1-800-DEFINITELY-NOT-A-CHAIR. 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 1-800-DEFINITELY-NOT-A-CHAIR.
Welcome back. Switching to sports, soccer has the biggest game on Saturday since 2013 when they beat St. Benedict's. This game is once again away versus St. Benedict's. However, this year there is so much more at stake as both teams are ranked number 1 and 2 in the nation. So the team knows there is more on the line than just getting a win on Saturday.
This is probably the biggest game a lot of us have ever played in our lives. You know, it was big coming into it at first, but after winning against St. Augustine's and DeMatha, and them ranking us number 2, it's one of the biggest games this state has probably ever seen. Number 1 and number 2 does not happen very often just because of the way they do rankings and such. And for a lot of us, specifically like Gavin and I, we've been playing in these kind of games for 4 years, and it would just be great to come out with a win finally against St. Benedict's. Good luck to the team. Football is also off to a great start with a 3-1 record as they look to continue their success against the Episcopal Academy. WSAL's own Cameron Spink spent 100 yards with his brother and varsity captain Casey Spink to learn more about the team and his brother.
My name is Cameron Spink and I'm here with Casey Spink, varsity football player. It's your 3rd year on varsity. What is the difference between this year and previous years?
Well, we're a pretty close-knit squad, so like we're all really good friends with each other. The energy level definitely seems like higher. Everyone seems like they're having a lot more fun at practice, so yeah.
What is it like to be a team captain this year?
Feels like a lot of responsibility, but it was an honor to be a captain, and I definitely love being a captain. Like it just adds another level of like maturity to the game. Like I'm just kind of like a role model for everyone on the team, I guess.
Are you planning on playing football in college?
I'm gonna have to see how the season goes. If it goes pretty well, then I'll think about it. But as of right now, I honestly have no clue.
What's the most exciting thing about playing for Sal's?
The home games, playing at Baynard, easily. The crowd and the energy, the student section is always like crazy. So yeah.
What type of music do you listen for pregame, and what song?
I'm a big fan of "Me for Me" by Kodak. I usually don't listen to that much rap though. I listen to a lot of like songs that like calm my nerves, like classic rock or some stuff like that. Yeah.
How do you feel about living in Cameron Spink's shadow?
Yeah, that's funny. That's real funny.
The managers are always looking for people to join their ranks, so if you'd like to help out, please speak with a coach. That will wrap it up for this week's edition of WSAL. We leave you with a look of some highlights from last Friday's Spirit Games. Have a great weekend.